Do you know many other dealers attempting to sell cars based on purchase price versus maximum retail value?
No, I think most of them will go off the actual book prices of the cars. The reason why they do this and the reason why I'm different than what they do is because I don't I don't finance my cars, or I don't get my cars financed by banks. So what typically will happen with a car dealer that buys more expensive stuff is that they can see the actual loan value of the car while the car is going through the auction. So if they know that a bank will lend $15,000 on a car and it's going for $10,000, they know that as long as they don't have to put a lot of money into it, that they have that spread of what the bank will actually loan on the car versus what they're buying it for. And in a lot of cases, buyers are payment buyers and they don't look at the actual total price of the car. So a lot of these car dealers know that if there's a spread of that $5,000 on the car, they're going to buy it because they know that they can sell it for $15,000 because that's what a customer can get approved for that car. So in a lot of cases, these car dealers don't. I mean, it almost doesn't matter to them what they're paying for it as long as there's a big enough spread, and they're not just going to go and mark it up 1,000, $1,500. There's going to be some cars that they have on their lot that they're making $2,500 on because the bank will loan that extra $2,500 over what they actually purchased it for. And there's going to be some cars that they might make $6,000, $7,000 because that's what the bank will actually loan the money on. And it just goes back to, okay, what are their buyers going to be willing to pay for it? And it's not the overall price, it's the payments. A lot of times, as we talk about this all the time, you want to shop the out the door price and not what your payment is. And there's so many customers that walk into a dealership and say, okay, I need to buy a car and I need to pay $399 a month. That's what I can afford. So that dealer is going to then sell them that car that they have the most amount of spread of what the bank will loan on the car to get at that $399 payment versus what they actually have in the car. They're going to get the biggest margin vehicle to get that customer into it because the customer is coming in. They don't care what they're paying overall for the car. They just want that $399. And the reason why we don't work like that is because we sell cars for cash. Now, when I say cash, it's not literal hard cash. People will use their debit card. They'll bring us a cashier's check, something like that. But they're not getting these cars financed. So I'm not trying to find the amount that the bank will loan on the cars that I'm buying. I'm trying to turn and burn, and I want to make about $1,000 a car. That's my average. So if I steal a car at the auction, my customer is going to steal a car at auction. If I pay too much on the inverse side of that, if I pay way too much for a car at auction, if I make a mistake, then I'm going to price it to where it's more than probably what the car is worth. Now, the added benefit to my customer, at least, is that we're very aggressive about pricing our cars and actually dropping our prices. So if we're wrong about buying a car and nobody is looking at the car, we don't have any leads just because it's too expensive. Market tells us that in 2 weeks we're going to drop by $500. We don't sell the car within another 2 weeks, we're going to drop it again by $500. We don't sell the car again within another 2 weeks, we're going to drop it by $500. And at that point, we're probably losing money on the car. So we allow the market to tell us what the car's worth and not the banks. The banks have nothing to do with the values of our cars on our car dealership. We go specifically off of what we buy the car for.
You noticed any fluctuation in parts cost?
We haven't really broke it down, but what we have realized is that we're paying a lot more for fixes now than it seems like we have been. At least that's a feeling that we've gotten. We've just recently started to break out all of our big expenses because we're trying to figure out which cars we should buy and we shouldn't buy. We probably should have done this more often than we have over the last few years. But we're seeing that like transmissions. Transmissions is the easy one. We used to be able to get like a used transmission with a warranty put in for between like $1,200 and $1,800. And now what we're finding on at least transmissions is that now a lot of them are costing like $3,000 for us to put in. So that's a big jump. And one that we can't really afford. And this is why we're breaking out which cars are costing us more to fix, because if we're finding cars that we're buying that are more likely to have transmission problems, we need to just avoid those cars. One thing I will say, probably the reason why these transmission costs have gone up so much just in the last couple of years is because people are they're opting to fix their cars more often now than they would have even just like 3 or 4 years ago, because new cars have gotten so expensive. What will usually happen would be that someone would start having a transmission problem. They're like, you know what? I don't really want to deal with this. I'm just going to trade it in and buy a brand new car. But now when they're having that thought come through their head, they're going and checking out these new cars. And the new cars that were $35,000 are now $55,000. Like, oh, well, it almost makes more sense for me to just fix my transmission. So the more transmissions that you have fixed, the more the actual transmissions are going to cost, because there's going to be a limited supply of them, because a lot of these mechanics are ordering them, getting them from junkyards, getting them from these parts houses, wherever they're getting them from, and makes the price go up. And then you have mechanics that are doing more of these transmission jobs. Well, that's going to make the actual price of the job, the labor, go up too, because they're just doing more of them. The demand's going up for them. They can charge more for them. So that's one of the big reasons why you're seeing common parts or common problems that are costing us more now that maybe weren't so much of a common job to get done on a lot of these cars just even 3 or 4 years ago. That's why we're seeing prices spike with those kind of things, just because people are more apt to get their cars fixed right now than sign up for that brand new $750 a month payment. I think is the average for a new car payment right now. Absolutely insane. So absolutely, parts, labor, everything associated with the car is going to go up when you have new cars that aren't getting bought by people who would have bought new cars and just traded in their old one. Now they're getting it fixed.
Do you know if anyone has purchased a car from you and then resold it for a profit?
I don't know that, but
I know of one person.
You know, one's a person?
Used to be an employee, now has their own dealership.
Oh, yeah. Let's see here. Matt, what did he do? He bought a 2006 Chevy Malibu. And I can't remember what he paid, like $1,800 for, or something like that.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, and he drove it for like 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
It got wrecked. The insurance company gave him like $3,000 for it, and allowed him to keep driving it because they didn't want it. He was able to buy it back from the insurance company. I think it was like $400 or something like that. So he made money there, and then he kept driving it, and then he ended up selling it to another one of our employees, I think for like $2,000 or whatever he paid for it, $1,800, because he sold it to Jose, and Jose drove it for years and years and years. So that's crazy to think about.
Mm-hmm. We've heard of other people though coming back because they made money on a car after if they were in a car accident or something. We've heard other stories where people's insurance companies paid them more than what they paid for the car.
Oh yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, we don't sell cars for what they're worth. We base it off of what we buy it for. So if we steal a car at auction, then a customer's able to steal it from us. Then yeah, I mean they can. Oh, there was a dealer from Michigan that came down a bunch of years in a row right before tax time, and he would bring a 3-car hauler, and he would buy cars from. He would load it up. He would bring a driver with him. He'd buy 4 cars from me. He didn't know what he was buying. He just came down and said, "I'm just going to buy 4 cars from you because you don't have your rust. Your prices are cheap." And he would take them back up to Michigan, and he would make double. Like if we sold him a car for $2,500, he would sell that same car for $5,000. One I remember was like a 2005 Chevy Cavalier. We're in a place that there's no rust, and he can take that same car up to Michigan, and he doubled his money.
And that was about 8 years ago.
That was a long time, but he did it for like 3 or 4 years in a row. Yeah.
Yeah. And there was a guy from West Virginia too that had a dealership, right? Or am I thinking of the Michigan one? I thought he was from West Virginia.
No, that's the Michigan guy. Yep.
Oh, no, it was the guy that his brother was running the West Virginia dealership, and he lived here.
Oh, Jeff.
Yeah, I don't know if I should say the name.
Yeah,
sorry,
no,
Jeff.
I mean, he didn't really buy very many cars from us. Though.
No, but if the question is, has anyone ever bought a car and made money on it?
The answer is yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but it's been a very rare thing. But there has been cases where people were able to buy cars cheaply enough from us that they could make money on them. You know what? I would tell every one of you. I think every one of you should come and try to buy a car from me. So you can flip it, and you might be able to make money on it, but just clean out our lot and see try your hand at flipping cars.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a joke.
No, I'll sell him a car.
I know that.
Yeah,
but it is not a challenge.
We had a guy yesterday come to our car lot. He flew down from Pennsylvania and bought a car and drove it all the way back up there. I hope he made it back. I hadn't heard back from him. So if you're watching this, please send us a message telling us you got back in the car. But people, don't do that. That's crazy. I promise you, there's another car dealer between here and Pennsylvania, or between here and Michigan, between here and North Dakota. These are all places that people have come to buy cars from me. I'm giving you information on YouTube, so you don't have to do that. You can find a car dealer just like me everywhere in the country. I promise you, they're out there. They exist. I am not a unicorn. I'm not doing anything special here.
Up north is tough though. With the
up north is tough with rust, but you can go south enough that's not all the way here that you can find a car that doesn't have rust from a dealer that's selling stuff that's $5,000 and under. That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy. People, stop. Yeah.